Welcome back. You're watching Startup Central with me, Nantara Rai, your one-stop destination for anything to do with startups, technology, innovation, disruption, anything to do with the new economy. Stay in touch with us. Our email address right on top, suc@etnow.tv. You can also reach out to me on Twitter. Now, there is certainly a new trend that's emerging, and that is of these auto giants investing in startups. We saw, for example, the Hero Group invest in Ather Energy. You've had Toyota invest in Shuttle. You've also had the Mahindra Group that invested in Zoom Car. And here's one more. It's the latest. It's the Bajaj Auto, led by Rajiv Bajaj, which has invested in Yulu. Here's a conversation with my colleague, Rahul Dayama.
Well, we're seeing a lot of traditional auto companies finally realize the big bet as far as electric mobility is concerned and the role that technology will really play in disrupting the entire business. And Yulu really has closed an equity round from Bajaj Auto, another player really in the auto space. And joining me is Amit to decode that big investment strategic partnership and what this really holds for.
Hi Rahul.
Thank you so much for taking out the time and joining us. Tell us, how did you really convince Bajaj Auto, a player that has just recently launched the Chetak, to sort of signal that electric is going to be a big bet, to invest in a startup like this? And you've been doing what is very disruptive in a way of really covering short-term mobility challenges.
So I would say it's a timing, and timing is everything. You see how electric mobility is becoming important for the country. Although they launched their Chetak product very recently, but the work has been happening on that product also from last 2 years or maybe more. When I reached out to Bajaj Group, and Rajiv was very kind to give his time, and I shared my vision that how we look at India's mobility becoming shared, connected, smart and sustainable, which is EV-led. And he got excited about the potential where companies like Yulu can make electric mobility a mass market phenomena. And we had this product vision also, where we thought that these small vehicles created for shared mobility is the need of the hour. We cannot just put a traditional vehicle in to solve for the mobility. And when I said that, okay, this is what we should do together, he said yes to the partnership.
Interesting. But could you take us through the nitty-gritties as far as, this is a strategic partnership. There's more to the table than money that Bajaj really brings. So how would you really, will there be a lot of made in India innovation, discussing how, as far as your manufacturing is concerned, to rely on the China market for a long time? Will that change? Will now India also emerge as a hub for Yulu really?
So that is the intent for sure. We are currently, or we were bringing these vehicles from China in the past and getting them assembled in India. And again, Bajaj was very kind of to do this for us. But our intent is to do it in India, because that's where we can drive real product innovation. We have to build these vehicles suitable for our country, and there's no one else better than Bajaj Group, who understand the Indian context. They understand the mobility by being in three-wheeler space. So they truly understand the nitty-gritties of this business.
Got it. But how has the journey really panned out? We are bang in the middle of the central business district. Metro is just walkable from here. Yeah. And you've sort of decided to solve the problem by having these at specific zones where the demand is really high. Has that bet really paid on? Are Indian consumers willing to latch on to a product like this?
So we saw what happened in China. People were not fine with vehicles being dropped across the city. It is not only a huge logistical nightmare for the company, but also for citizens. They don't like it beyond a point. And that's where we thought of creating this infrastructure for parking by working with the city officials, by the corporate customers who gave us spaces in their tech parks, and also a lot of residential buildings who gave us space to create Yulu zone. Now this is done, and what we believe is people should use these vehicles for short distance mobility, use it for first and the last mile, and this kind of setup has been helping us a lot. And not only the operational areas, which is like the parking, we are also able to solve for the range anxiety, the charging of the battery, by putting the charging stations in just nearby these areas and have a swappable battery network in the cloud kind of infrastructure working for us.
Got it. No, while mobility is a very exciting space, it is also the most challenging problem to solve for in a market like India, where you have less places for pedestrians, having this infrastructure put up. Also how the communities react to it, right? We've seen globally models like this face immense backlash owing to where they are parked, how they are parked. So it is a challenging problem to solve.
So you are absolutely right. And that's what was the lesson learned the hard way for us as well. For 6 months, when we launched this service Jan 2018, we were running a Chinese model. We understood this is not going to work. And that's why we took this disciplined approach of building a Yulu zones network in the city. In our journey, as I said, the stakeholders like cities, citizens and corporates, they have been very, very helpful because they saw that this massive rush and mad rush of the traffic on car, etc. is not going to help. So they all participated. And we believe that this is a scalable model. And you are right, some of the places which were meant for something else will be let go. But look at this area. We are not intruding into pedestrian movement. It's a block corner where we basically have been given the space by the metro, and they are happy, commuters are happy, Yulu is happy. We are building sustainable cities for future.
Got it. Also I said it's a challenging problem, as we were discussing in terms of thefts, vandalism. Indians, consumers are also supposed to be the notorious ones, so to say, and I'll be candid on that. Have you faced instances like that? Because I've heard a lot about it, read as well, the fact that people do not really value, mobility, especially when you have something like this that are put up at public places.
Yeah. So we used to have this problem. We lost 300 cycles when we launched the service in the purely dockless manner. And then we thought that this is not going to help us. Again, Yulu zone to Yulu zone model where people are accountable, they have to leave it at the right place. And these areas are being either looked by a security guard or people in general, and we don't have this problem. So that's point number one. Point number two is our vehicles are designed specifically for us. So if you, let's say, steal a wheel, you cannot use it anywhere else. And last but not the least, what we have done well is the enforcement of our policy. So we have our own bike marshals. They're basically kind of people who can have a difficult word with someone who's messing around. And now we are in a situation where people know that these vehicles are for the society. They're not meant to be abused, and if they will be abusing it, someone else will come after them and teach them a lesson.
But what lesson are you talking about? Are you open to approaching the police authorities? Have you taken that?
In more than 98% of the cases, it's our own team who has been able to have a word. We don't want to disturb the police. They have so many things on their side. But for extreme cases, we actually have approached police, and they have been very supportive of us. And they take care of these guys by giving them some nice hospitality. And then the whole word spreads in the locality that don't do that, it's not worth it. Let's be, responsible citizens. And that's how things have been happening for us.
Interesting that you had to also approach the police department. But coming to the larger plan for Yulu going ahead, it would be a natural target for an acquisition by the likes of Uber or Ola. I want you to be candid. You did have a partnership where, your offering was present on Uber.
Yeah.
What went on? And where do you really see the brand 5 years down the line?
Sure. So to start with, we think that this business cannot be done in isolation. You have to bring partners in the ecosystem. So one of the partners was an OEM where Bajaj has joined hands. Second partner is the mobility companies like Metro, Uber. And we saw this thing coming together. That's where we approached each other. And it is actually a win-win situation for Uber and Yulu, where we know that people will take multimodal approach. So an Uber pool being fed by a Yulu bike, or someone taking Yulu from A to B, all of those possibilities are there. We have done a pilot where the results are very, very encouraging. We are looking at a deeper partnership just like Bajaj. Hopefully we'll hear about it very soon. I cannot reveal more details, but things are very, very encouraging.
So you're saying deeper partnership with the likes of Uber. Or Ola, also something
Not Ola,
strategic?
Because I don't think so. Ola right now will be open. They have a Vogo. Right now we're talking about a deeper relationship with Uber.
Or something in the works. Interesting. Lastly, Amit, before I let you go now, you were at InMobi. You didn't have a full-fledged role there. what tempted you to sort of get out of that grind, launch this, and why the mobility space really? You know, we've seen InMobi also one of the first unicorns. It's had a journey, but back really out there, and one of the most successful startups from India.
So I had absolute fun, and I take absolute pride in building InMobi. And at the same time, you know, you have those life goals, and I was turning 40. I thought I will be retiring. Realized that it's not something which I will enjoy. Then thought, what is that deeper thing? And deeper thing was giving it back to the society. Let's solve a societal problem. And I found out that traffic congestion and air quality is a big, big problem for our country. And I decided to put myself onto this. And for me, the narrative was that there was a white movement where we became basically so good, so big in dairy. There was a green revolution. And now I'm looking at doing a blue revolution, where with the help of this blue color bike, and now with Bajaj with their blue color and ambition to transform our cities coming to life. And that's what I see myself doing next 10 years.
All right. Do you also Yulu every day?
I actually do, not because of I am the CEO, but actually it makes sense. My home to my office, if I'm in car, I'm not kidding, you can do a Google Map check. It will take 40 minutes. On Yulu, I take 7 minutes and I'm done. It is absolutely a delight to not being wasting our time and energy on the traffic versus just going and being much more efficient. And also good for the world.
Okay, I won't take this answer as a plug because I know the Bangalore traffic and I know you're not lying. Wonderful chatting with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.